What up, inside 1822? Back with another AEW Dynamite review. What a way that show just went off the air. But before I talk about the show, make sure you hit the like button for your boy, because it definitely helps this channel out. And if you want to know how I feel overall about the show, keep your ass here for my final overall thoughts on episode of AEW Dynamite. Now, let's talk about Dynamite, shall we? We kick things off with Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF. The guy will be a part of a contract signing later on with the World Champion, Darby Allin. If he loses this match, he will get his shit, and it tied into this. When he's walking into the ring, you see so many bald individuals, and the crowd really got to chuck out chanting, ball, 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 and it ends with Ricochet, and he told him, hey, you're going to look good, but we will not look good as me. Great way to tie everything into MJF, putting his hair on the line. So we get to the first match tonight, which is a 10-man tag team match. Tommaso Ciampa, the Dogs, FTR versus Orange Cassidy, Copeland Christian, and the Young Bucks. And this was a fun 10-man tag team match. I love Cope wearing the same colors as the Young Bucks, and they all did a super kick together. Everybody in this match, they got their stuff in, and I was able to sit back and just enjoy this type of match. The babyface team gets the victory. Now, this stuff with the Death Riders and Will Ospreay is one of the most intriguing things in AEW, because Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley been going at it because the Death Riders tried to end his career. It is one of these things where it makes me say, man, the Death Riders are so inconsistent on TV. 1 minute they're heels, next they're tweeners, then they come off like baby faces. Why would Will Ospreay want Jon Moxley help? But we all know why. Will Ospreay is gonna to become the AEW World Champion for the first time. So he's gonna swallow his pride and accept this help from Jon Moxley. Will Ospreay weaknesses coming back from the injury is his neck. And I love the fact that Jon Moxley will give him a pep talk, trying to get him to be different. Because they did say when he's gonna come back, he's gonna change his style, and it's playing into the storyline. But the people who say AEW does not tell stories, you are wrong. Here we go. Take something from real life and you put it on TV. So I wonder, what is the whole end game for Jon Moxley in this storyline with Ospreay? But I don't try to predict things. I'm gonna let it play out on AEW TV. Hell, the show All in London is in August. So that's all I'm gonna do. Just be a fan and not be a huge goddamn mark trying to figure out every single goddamn thing before we get to it. So Mike Speedball, he has a match against a jobber, handsome talent, whatever you want to call it. And Mike Speedball gets the victory. So his tag team partner, Kevin Knight, has an open challenge for the TNT Championship. And welcome back, Brian Cage. And Brian Cage, for someone who been out of action, he did not miss a beat. And this was such a kick-ass match between Kevin Knight and Brian Cage. Kevin Knight been one of the best things on AEW TV. This guy is the future World Heavyweight Champion. And I love everything about this man. And the crowd is really getting behind Kevin Knight. They see the potential in him. And I love Brian Cage being a savvy veteran. When Kevin Knight went for the Hunter Crown off the ropes, it was not going to be a clean one. So Cage did not sell it. So all they did is did a Hunter Crown off top of the rope. UFO, still your TNT champion, Kevin Knight. Speedball good on the microphone, tells Kevin Knight he is a future world champion. And the crowd were agreeing that he is. And he told Darby Allin, whoever won that match between you and the Keshka, I will get my turn next. And I'm really looking forward to Speedball getting his first AEW World Championship match. Now, I do believe we are going to get Kevin Knight versus Speedball at Double or Nothing. But will one of these guys turn heel on each other is the question. So, we get to this tournament for Double or Nothing. All Heart Cup tournament. We have it every single year. Now, Samoa Joe versus Will Ospreay. Oh my God. I'm looking forward to that match. Swerve versus Bandino. Jack Perry versus Mark Davis. And Clodo Castagnoli versus Brody Kane. Now, the name that is missing is, yes, Kenny Omega. I thought with that segment with him and Will Ospreay, Omega will be in it. So I wonder what Omega is going to do when we get to August for AEW All in London. So we have Will Ospreay in a match against Ace Austin. And this was such a goddamn good match. The crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." And I was happy to see what they were doing in this match with Will Ospreay. More development for his current character with the Death Riders. This time, the neck did not be a weakness for Will Ospreay because he been working on the neck training with the Death Riders. Also, he did a move out of Moxie's playbook with stepping on Ace Austin's elbow, and then later on he did it again and used to advantage to get submission on Ace Austin. So now we are finally getting some development with this Will Ospreay character, and I'm loving it from the earlier segment into the match. So Samoa Joe comes out with the ops. Samoa Joe is going to take on Will Ospreay, of course. He wants Ospreay to get with the ops, but he aligned with the Death Riders, what led to the Death Riders coming out. In this segment, the Death Riders look like babyfaces. Just the continuation of them being inconsistent. But logically, it made total sense. So, I see where it's going to go. Samoa Joe is going to take on Jon Moxley for the International Championship while we had this feud between the Death Riders and the Op. But I'm not sure when will this match take place on a pay-per-view. But like I said, I'm just going to wait and see and let all this play out. So we have the All Heart Cup tournament women bracket. So by my surprise, there's no Mercedes Moné, but we do have a Stephanie versus Hashisushi. I say her name wrong, sorry. Willow versus Allin Winster. Mina Shirakawa versus Athena. And Sarai, whatever, versus Sky Blue. I know what's going to happen in this entire tournament, but I will get to that very soon when we get to the finals. So, we have the first women's match of the night. Triangle Madness versus Allin Winster, Hikaru Shida, and Jamie Hayter. This was a decent match right here, but it ended in those qualifications made total sense because you cannot have Hayter and Winster lose in a match just yet. But also played into Hikaru Shida eventually turned a heel, and she's been one of the best things about the AEW women's division. I always liked Hikaru Shida, but I'm glad she finally learned other ways to be a better overall talent on TV, and she's really been delivering for me. So while she left, while the beatdown was going on from the Triangle Match, we got the save from Mina Shirakawa, Chris Statlander, and Willow, and I hope that we get Willow versus Hikaru Shida because Willow Nightingale does not have a storyline. I've been very disappointed with her run as a TBS champion because Tony Khan just don't know what the hell to do with her. All she's doing is, hey, whoever want to come back, you get a title shot. Where is the storyline involving Willow Nightingale? But it definitely should be her, Hikaru Shida. I'm not sure when it take place at WWE, but it should take place at WWE because when the last time Willow Nightingale had a TBS championship match on a pay-per-view? I don't want to see her on a pre-show again. So we get to the main event. Darby Allin versus Nakeshka, AEW World Heavyweight Championship match. I'm going to say it here right now. Darby Allin is having the best World Heavyweight Championship run in professional wrestling. Not just AEW, professional wrestling, period. This was one hell of a match between these two. Originally, it was supposed to be Okada, but he had business to take care in Japan. And we're getting signs of him becoming a babyface. Don Okada gave him the ring. He did not use it. He wanted to win it in a fair way. And I love the finish when Darby put him in the Scorpion Deathlock. He hung on the ropes, went for a coffin drop, went for another one. 1, 2, 3, your winner, Darby Allin. And next week he will take on Mike Speedball, and that's gonna be one hell of a match. And we finally get MJF, who came out and signed a contract. He told him, "You got lucky, and I'm going to become a 3-time World Heavyweight Champion." But Darby did not want to hear all that nonsense from. He told, "I'm going to beat you, and I'm going to shave your head." What led to MJF attacking Darby Allin, and then we get the save from Kevin Knight. So MJF, Darby Allin, a match I'm really looking forward to. That was a strong way to finish all that off right there. It's going to be one hell of a match, and the crowd is really going to be so into it because they're going to have a feeling there's a possibility of MJF losing his hair. So that's how you make everything feel even more important in the match. Every near fall is going to feel so big in New York City for their World Heavyweight Championship match. The belt versus the hair. So, the episode AEW Dynamite, this was a damn good show. The matches were damn good. From the 10-man tag, Ace Austin and Will Ospreay, the main event, just high quality matches on this show. So, if you watch AEW Dynamite like me, give me your thoughts on the show. Negative, positive. I'll respond in the comments per usual. Hit that like button on the video, of course. As always, don't forget, hit the subscribe button. I'm out. Peace. What up, it's Ty 1822, back with another AEW Dynamite review. Talk about a great way, the way that show went off air. But before I get to that, make sure you hit the like button for your boy, because it definitely helps the channel. If you want to know how I felt overall about this episode of Dynamite, make sure you keep your ass here for my final overall thoughts on the show. Now, let's talk about AEW Dynamite. Shall we? This was a funny way to kick off the show. Now, MJF later on will have a contract signing with Darby Allin. If he loses to Darby Allin, he got to get his head shaved. And you got MJF walking into the arena, and you see all these bald individuals every single time. And the crowd got a chuckle out. You hear the crowd chanting, "Ball, ball, ball." And Ricochet told him, "Hey, when you get a shave, you're going to look good, but just not good as me." That was a smart way to kick off the show, because AEW fans love the bald-headed joke. So great way to play into what's going to be online for the World Heavyweight Championship match. Now, we have the first match tonight, which is a 10-man tag team match. Tommaso Ciampa teams the Dogs versus FTR versus Orange Cassidy, Copen Christian, and the Young Bucks. This was a fun way to start the night with the first match on this show. This was a type of match where you just sit back, relax, and turn your brain and enjoy whatever going on in this match. Everybody who involved got their stuff in, and